The Joe Rogan Experience.
And honestly, particularly in the last 15 years when I started really taking martial arts seriously, half the stuff that I've been able to do right in my creative life are principles that I learned on the mat with my Sifu. You know, guard your center, keep your eye on the lead elbow, get to the blind side, you know.
How often do you do that?
I started, I think I'm in the 15th or 16th year. Sifu was over the day before yesterday. So, you know, a bunch of times a week. And if I'm working on something or if he can make it to location, we'll have long stretches where we're doing it every day. Then there's gradings. So you got to prep for those, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So what are you doing? Are you doing Kung Fu? Like, is it a very particular style?
Traditional Wing Chun. Kung
Really?
Fu, yeah. Which is...
very underrated art form.
Yes. Also, so many trade secrets and so different than how I see it when I'm looking at videos, in that in UFC, everything is out in the open and it's discussed and you see. And a lot of the Eastern stuff, there was a turf wars and we're not really going to show them our footwork. We're not going to do this. So, but anyway, it's been a real deep dive with my Sifu, Eric Oram, whose Sifu, my Sigung, is Grandmaster William Chung, renowned kind of Hong Kong rooftop fights, all that stuff. Amazing lore, but very technical, difficult to build, and easy to use.
You know, you very rarely see that in the UFC, but one of the best fighters in the UFC uses it regularly. Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson uses trapping hands.
The Mukjung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He grabs wrists and comes over the top with elbows. He does straight Wing Chun. He does it all the time. And he even practices on a wooden dummy.
Yeah. I got my ass kicked by a wooden dummy for about 3 years, and then I finally understood the principle of don't fight force with force. And, you know, it's just nuts. So anyway, half the time, if I would be in a critical artistic situation, I would just say, because Wing Chun problems are life problems are Wing Chun problems, and I would just go back to how did this kind of relate to, because I don't like getting clocked and getting my teeth knocked in, because we tend to, sometimes we glove up, but we're not wearing mouthpieces. It's very...
Why are you wearing a mouthpiece?
It's certainly not, because he's very good at pulling his punches, and he's also even better at making sure that I don't accidentally hit him. But we get as close as we can to what the real experience would be. But again, it's like everything. I'm sure, you know, a few clicks back down the road, there's things that instructors were doing that would be considered illegal to do to a group of students nowadays.
Yeah, for sure.
So
not just a few clicks while I was coming up.
that's what I would imagine.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
they'd hit each other.
Yes.
Students would get beat up.
Yes.
It was a normal thing.
Yes.
So did you start training for Sherlock Holmes, or you started training before that?
I didn't.
Then?
It absolutely coincided with my recovery.
Oh.
And the two things just somehow or other seemed to lock in. And talk to you off the record and afterwards about any and everything to do with my recovery. As far as it locked in with this, it was an apprenticeship, and it was an apprenticeship that was contingent on me being in a certain headspace. You know.
Well, it's a good thing too, because it's a very addictive thing. People get very addicted to martial arts, and it's a good substitute for sometimes negative addictions. You know, Bourdain, before he died, he was obsessed with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Wow. Yeah, became really obsessed with it at 58.
Wow.
And got really good. He was training every day, and he was training twice a day every day. So he went from, when I first met him, he was chubby, he was smoking cigarettes, he drank every night, still drank every night. But, you know, he just did enough healthy things to keep his body together. And then his ex-wife got really into jiu-jitsu, And then he decided to follow her one day to classes, and he was kind of mocking it and laughing at it at first, and then became obsessed. And then really got good. I mean, he was look at he won in a tournament. And I mean,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's fucking 60 years old there.
Jesus H.
What's really crazy is a picture of him walking down the street I think they were in Rome, and he has no shirt on, and he's fucking ripped. Anthony Bourdain, full six-pack.
Really?
Yeah, dude, he was obsessed. He would take a private every day. Look at him. Look at that photo. That's
Dear
crazy.
Me.
He's like 60-something years old there. Wow. So he would take a private lesson every day, and then he would take a class. So he would take a private lesson, sharpen up techniques, and then he would roll.
Class. Yeah.
He'd take group classes, too, which is very, very critical. You got to roll with different people.
100%.
Yeah, and so he was in there, and it became a good thing for him to sort of become addicted to this positive thing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it wasn't going to be golf. It wasn't going to be something passive like that, even though I hear it's great. But it's just been a great gift. And it's also the thing where, you're never done. I made black belt 5 years ago for another grading, and now we're doing a lot of weapons stuff. And it's just, I just
awesome.
adore
Congratulations.
it.
Yeah, my Taekwondo teacher said something to me when I was very young. They said that it is a tool for developing your human potential. Wow. Yeah, and I never forgot that because I'm like, yeah, it's because it's really difficult to do. Like all martial arts it's really difficult to get your body to move that way and to be able to be effective in a conflict situation. And if you can do it, and you can do it over and over again, and you can overcome that difficult thing, and you thought it was unsurmountable, and then you figured out how to do it, eventually you get to this point where you realize, well, everything in life is like that. Everything in life is like something, it's a puzzle. You have to figure out how am I approaching it wrong? What can I do to make it better? How do I get more competent at this particular skill or this particular discipline?
Yeah, and just the humility, too. I mean, if I've noticed anything in the last couple of years just in UFC, which, by the way, I was doing a Robert Altman film called The Gingerbread Man back in the 90s, and UFC had just started off, and I was getting the VHS tapes and watching them. And so when they go back on the 25 years ago, I was like, I've been there from jump.
That's awesome.
But we watch it's just that thing of no matter what you think, the tides are changing quickly, and you just got to keep working.
Well, that was a real wake up call for a lot of martial artists. Was the UFC, because a lot of the stuff that they were doing really wasn't effective.
Yeah,
they thought it would be if everybody was playing by the rules in the dojo and sort of following along the. But once you really saw an actual caged event where people were just going balls out, you realize, a lot of this stuff just doesn't work.
Yeah. And I love how messy it was at the beginning too, because the style of matchups were they were almost
crazy,
laughable until you saw the violence.
And no weight classes.
Yes, beautiful people, we are back. Your boy Usema, DJ Savage, 2 British Nerds. What's up? How's everyone doing? I'm really trying to, for once, I'm trying to look at the center of this lens and not look up, down. It's a habit I have. I'll do this. And I'm just trying to break out of it. So I'm consistently throughout this video, I'm trying to just look into the center of this lens. The video or interview you just saw was literally of the man himself, RDJ, Robert Downey Jr., otherwise known as Tony Stark, Tony Stank, and of course otherwise known as Iron Man. And the reason I wanted to basically put that video up was because it vibrated to me personally, because he said he gave up, he substituted his addiction for what he was going through in his life and his career for martial arts, which really when he was speaking spoke to me in regards to what he was saying, being of course it lifted up his spirits. He got better, he felt much better, and he's in a much happier place due to the fact that he's actually practicing the martial arts. Because when you practice martial arts, in regards to the internal martial arts, also you acquire health, you acquire vitality, you acquire internal strength, which means all of your organs are completely dense and strong. So it works the interior and the exterior. Your breathing changes, your vitality changes, your posture, your energy matrix, your field changes of energy. You tend to acquire and pull in more chi and energy. You become more balanced. You acquire the yin and the yang, which really allows you to be balanced in one's life. So you can actually have a balanced mind, a healthy mind that gives way, of course, to a healthy thoughts. And of course, you acquire a straight, strong body, you acquire a straight, strong mind. So the first thing you work on when you do the internal arts, the foundation is of course, the foundation being, of course, the posture, having a straight and solid foundation, so then you can build and build upon. Anyways, all of that to basically say, the reason I wanted to put that video up there is because, one, I love internal martial arts, and it has saved my life. And the reason I say that is because from 2016, and before that, for about 10-15 years, I had a bent spine and a bent back. I used to literally walk like this, like my back was hunched up. I had no vitality, low spirits. I had the worst back problems, literally the worst back problems, of where I would get lower back problems. I would get a shooting spine up my back. There was times when I was at work, I would literally have to be sent home because I couldn't physically walk. I couldn't work because my back was killing me, and that basically manifested. And the only thing that helped me, was actually going at home and having a nice hot bath and just relaxing. So 2016, I went to my doctors in regards to my back, and he said, look, honestly, he says, we can't operate on your back because it's bent. You have a bent spine. There's nothing that we could do for you. The older you get, the worse it's going to get. And the only thing I can recommend you is painkillers. And he basically said, you're going to be on painkillers for the rest of your life because we can't help you with your back problem. You're basically fudged. Through my journey and just trying to find a way to just deal with the problem, I came across basically Qigong, which is basically a form of internal Chinese martial arts. So I found basically a center around my house, and I did it. And the first hour that I did, after I finished it, my back went from like this to like that, and it became straighter and more better. And I was like, it actually works. So I started going there for about 3-4 years, and then it was fine. It was cool. I felt nice and good, but I didn't feel. I felt there was more to be. I felt there was more that I was supposed to be getting taught, but it just wasn't there. And I just started striving and going, basically trying to find it through books, trying to find it through teachers, and of course calling up teachers. People were just all over the place were saying to me like, yes, come to my class, but it was like people were trying to make me come to their classes, but weren't really versed in the arts itself. And I went through just trying to call people. Like one guy, I called him up for a session. He said to me, oh, the session is £1,500 for an hour. I was like, huh? I was like, no way. So I started reading books, and I started basically just trying to call people, find people. And then I came across basically an author known as Peter Moon. So literally read basically some of his books, and connected with him on Facebook. And he basically taught me really internal, he taught me postures and practices to do that changed my health within literally seconds. And because of that, basically my health has improved 100%. My back is like this. It's like a plank of wood. I feel completely iron dense. I'm healthy mentally, physically, sexually. I have more vitality, more energy. I can do more things. I have more stamina when I'm outside in the streets. My breathing has completely changed. My energy has completely changed, and it's really, really helped me because, prior to me doing this, one of the reasons I was getting basically back problems, was because I was suffering from anxiety, from stress, from a slightly little bit depression, low spirits, because I was in a toxic environment with toxic people that was literally just sucking my energy completely dry. And that drove me to just, I would say if I stayed on that particular course, I would have rolled over and I would have died probably. If I didn't change my ways from 2016 and onwards, I would have literally been in the hospital. I would have had like a disease. I would have been in a very, very bad place. And basically, the internal arts really helped me. So that's why I wanted to basically push that video up there, just because it really vibrates with me 100%, because I've been through what our DJ has gone through, but not obviously on the same, not the same, how can I put it? I understand his journey and his struggle because I've gone through it, but in a different frequency. And to find something like this, that it's like he says, it's a gift. It is 100% a gift, basically, to have basically the internal arts system, or to be practicing internal arts or martial arts in regards to cultivating and really generating health on all levels. And it's something I practice every single day. It allows me to wake up, it allows me to do what I gotta do, it allows me to make consistent YouTube videos because I have energy and stamina. It's rewired my mind in what to eat, how to think, so it becomes a daily meditation. So that being said, people, hope everyone is well, and of course literally doing well. As always, if you have enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that YouTube subscribe button, smash that YouTube bell button, and of course, question of the day. What do you think of internal arts? Would you practice it? Do you practice it? If so, what kind of styles and forms do you actually practice? Drop your comments down below and let me know. And of course, did you know, or the other question is, of course, did you think that our DJ was into martial arts? Drop your comments down below, let me know. And of course, if you don't want to answer any of these questions, quite simple, as always, and of course, always, who are you? What do you do? Where are you from? Say hi in the comments and let me know. Peace.